Today's post comes from Sweet Soku. Am I the jerk for telling my friend that I won't babysit her child every weekend anymore? My best friend always asks me if I could babysit her kids every weekend. Her child is just 8 months old. I don't mind helping out, but I got to the point that I'm still young and I have no more free time for myself to enjoy the weekends with my family and friends. I love her child, really. She doesn't have to work on the weekend, but she will go out with her other friends to have fun and not take care of the child on her own. I told her that I needed time for myself and I can't continue doing it every weekend. I don't know why she acted strangely after I said my feelings. So am I the jerk for not babysitting my friend's child every weekend? Okay, well, if you continue to go down this path, you are going to find yourself very quickly exhausted, irritable, and not generally fun to be around. Human beings do have an innate need to work, accomplish things, and be productive members of society. But we also have a need to rest, to enjoy life. This is something that a lot of people either just don't know how to do anymore, or they've forgotten that there is, in fact, a need to rest. I feel like many times when I turn on the TV or see an advertisement, they're praising the person who could write a whole best-selling novel in 60 seconds with the miracle program they are selling, or something to that effect. The thing about rest is that you have to plan for it. If you wait for it to come to you, it will never happen. You have to intentionally go to your calendar, clear off a chunk of time, and say, "There, I'm going to rest then." Now, what you are doing is good and moral. It is based on the paramount value that all of morality is built upon, which is the idea that you should love your neighbor as yourself. That is good and noble. Your friend needs some help, and you lend a helping hand. But where this takes a turn for the worse is when this is a common, regular occurrence and nobody has discussed it with anyone. So you don't have kids, I take it you're not married, and you have some free time that you'd like to use. The only problem is that you are now saddled with babysitting duties every weekend. And what makes it worse is that you don't mind the duty. You like this kid. So there seems to be a conflict that arises when you like the task which takes up your time, but you are also feeling a bit of resentment about it. The reason that you're feeling resentment and the cognitive dissonance that you're feeling is a simple one. The two of you, for all intents and purposes, are each living one half of your friend's life when it comes to the weekends. On one hand, you're living the part of her life where she has a wonderful child she cares for, and bonds with, and nurtures, and so on. The part of her life that has responsibilities and things she's accountable for. But on the other hand, she is living the fun part of her life where she has friends and a social life and things like fun. So you get the chores and she gets the fun. Don't get me wrong here, this is a good and noble thing that you're trying to do for a person. Being a parent is trying and stressful, and there is often no better gift that you can give to a parent than a stress-free night. The problem comes when this becomes a regularly expected thing, and nobody has discussed it. Because what happens here is that you aren't taking care of yourself. From reading this post and only hearing your side of things, it sounds to me like your friend has never fully accepted becoming a parent. She's holding on to the weekends in the same way that a school child may hold on to the weekends as a reprieve from the school week, sort of like the last bit of freedom. Very likely this is going to be where you find the answer to why she looked so sad when you told her that you cannot continue doing this every single weekend. Now, to be sure, I wouldn't recommend never doing it again, especially if you like the kid. But she does need to learn to live in parenthood and to fully accept those responsibilities and implications. Proverbs 12:11 says, "He that tills his land will be satisfied with bread, but he who follows vain fantasies is void of understanding." In other words, a person should take on his or her own responsibilities first in a satisfactory way before indulging their desires and wants in life. If the desires and wants come first and the responsibilities second, well, you've got a mess on your hands. In this case, you've got a situation where somebody else is raising and bonding with that kid, and she's out there living it up without care. Do you think that kid is going to have more of an attachment to the mother or the one who is actively investing her time in caring or bonding with the child? Your friend, it seems, has some thinking to do and ultimately a decision to make. That being whether or not she's going to fully commit to being a mother, or if she's going to name you Weekend Mom while she lives it up with her friends. But the decision to have this conversation with her was the right move, I assure you. You need to do this for your sanity's sake. That'll do it for this week. If you like this content, like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. God bless.